Have you ever stopped to think that the man responsible for making entire generations laugh with Mr. Bean's antics might be, in real life, one of the most serious and reserved people you'd ever meet at a party? It's precisely this fascinating contradiction that makes Rowan Atkinson's story one of the most surprising biographies in world entertainment. A story full of layers that goes far beyond the brilliant facial expressions and physical comedy that made him famous on every continent. In this video, you'll discover how a shy boy, full of nicknames and with an inconvenient stutter, transformed into a creative genius who conquered the BBC, charmed Hollywood, divided opinions with his personal life, and still found time to crash his car more than once along the way. So settle in, because this story is too good to be told in a hurry. Rowan Atkinson was born in 1955 in England, where farms and family tradition dictated the future of children, but it was clear from an early age that this boy had a different destiny. With bulging eyes, protruding ears, and lips that seemed to have a life of their own, he was anything but the typical heir to a wealthy family from the north of the country, and nicknames at school soon followed. The curious thing is that, instead of shrinking from the teasing, young Rowan used precisely this unusual appearance and even his stutter as raw material to elicit laughter from his classmates, showing from childhood that suffering can be transformed into art. Who would have guessed that one of the biggest names in world comedy would spend his formative years studying electrical engineering, first in Newcastle and then at Oxford, one of the most prestigious universities in the world? It was precisely in the corridors of Oxford that Rowan Atkinson met Richard Curtis, a creative partner who would help shape his career forever, as well as musician Howard Goodall, who would later compose unforgettable soundtracks for his projects. This Oxford group proved that talent recognizes talent, and that the greatest partnerships in life are often born in the places where we least expect to find them. Few would have bet that a shy and introverted young engineer would become a sensation at the Edinburgh Festival. But that's exactly what happened when Rowan Atkinson took to the stage and captivated the audience with his unique nonverbal humor, capable of making anyone laugh without needing to understand a single word. His physical comedy was so original and precise that it caught the attention of important figures in the British scene, opening doors for his first appearances on UK television. The most fascinating aspect of this phase is realizing that it was precisely his shyness and introversion offstage that fueled the explosive intensity of his stage presence, as if the stage were the only place where he felt completely free. If you think becoming famous overnight is something out of a movie script, Rowan Atkinson's story with the show Not the 9 O'Clock News will make you rethink that. Because that's exactly what happened when the BBC aired that political parody that turned the UK upside down. The show mixed physical comedy with social criticism in such a sharp and intelligent way that it won important awards and turned Atkinson into a name that every Briton came to know. Interestingly, that resounding success didn't change the actor's reserved personality at all. He continued to prefer the work itself to the spotlight of fame. And that says a lot about who he really was behind the cameras. Imagine creating a series that spans centuries of British history while maintaining the same central character in completely different eras, and still making it all work in a way that keeps the audience hooked. That was exactly the challenge Rowan Atkinson and Richard Curtis took on with Blackadder. Over 4 seasons produced by the BBC, the character Edmund Blackadder went from a medieval prince to a captain in the trenches of World War I, always carrying that nonverbal humor and sharp irony that became the actor's trademark. What few people know is that the series almost didn't reach a second season because of the criticism of the first, and it was precisely the decision to change everything, from production to cast, that transformed Blackadder into an absolute classic of British comedy. If there's a character capable of making a 4-year-old and a 60-year-old laugh out loud at the same time, that character is Mr. Bean, launched in 1990 and which quickly went from being just a television program to becoming a cultural phenomenon without borders. The secret behind this success lay precisely in the nonverbal humor that Rowan Atkinson mastered like no other. After all, Mr. Bean practically didn't speak, and yet he managed to communicate universal situations that anyone in the world could understand and identify with. Today, the character has accumulated more than 137 million followers on social media, spawned 2 successful films and an animated series, and remains the greatest legacy of an actor who, curiously, has always said he doesn't particularly like the character he created. Anyone who thinks Rowan Atkinson limited himself to the world of Mr. Bean and Blackadder is mistaken, because his film career is much richer and more varied than most people imagine. He lent his voice to the iconic Zazu in Disney's The Lion King, brought smiles as the bumbling priest in 4 Weddings and A Funeral written by Richard Curtis, and also introduced us to the hilarious Agent Johnny English, a British spy whose self-confidence was inversely proportional to his competence, in a series of films that were box office hits despite mixed reviews. More recently, in 2023, Atkinson appeared in the acclaimed Wonka with a completely different energy, proving that an actor capable of mastering physical comedy also knows how to surprise when he decides to explore new territories. If there's one thing that rivals comedy in Rowan Atkinson's life, it's his almost obsessive passion for cars, an intense relationship full of ups and downs that over the years has yielded stories that would leave any automotive enthusiast speechless. The actor has collected extremely rare models, such as the McLaren F1 and various versions of the Aston Martin, even starring in one of the biggest accidents in British insurance history, when his car caught fire in 2011 and the repairs cost an impressive £910,000. The curious thing is that even after so many accidents and scares throughout his life, including a plane crash in Kenya, Atkinson has never abandoned his passionate relationship with speed, as if cars were for him the same as the stage, a place where adrenaline and freedom meet. Behind all the laughter Rowan Atkinson provoked on screen, his personal life held a far more complex and human story than any script he ever acted in. In 1990, the same year Mr. Bean debuted and conquered the world, he married Sunitra Sastry, with whom he had 2 children and built a family life that lasted almost 25 years, until a turbulent divorce in 2015 exposed a side of the actor that his fans never expected to see. His relationship with actress Louise Ford, 26 years his junior, generated great controversy in the British press, strained his relationship with his children, and showed that even men capable of making the whole world laugh can carry profoundly difficult dramas at home. There's a very interesting irony in discovering that one of the most famous comedians on the planet is, in real life, a profoundly shy person averse to any kind of unnecessary exposure. Rowan Atkinson has always been very clear in saying that he preferred to be recognized for his work and not his personal life, that he never had any interest in social media, and that the true pleasure he felt was not fame, but the creative process itself, that unique moment when physical comedy and nonverbal humor took shape before an audience. This introversion, which many people find strange, is actually the same force that has always fueled his genius, because it was from silence and careful observation of the world around him that characters as universal as Mr. Bean and as sharp as Blackadder were born. After a period away from the spotlight, Rowan Atkinson made a triumphant return in 2022 with the Netflix series Man vs. Bee, where he played an ordinary man waging a declared war against a single insect inside a mansion, proving that his physical comedy remains as sharp and irresistible as ever. But it wasn't just on screen that the actor made waves during this phase, because he also publicly positioned himself against cancel culture, eloquently defending freedom of expression at a time when this debate divides opinions around the world. What this recent phase reveals is that Atkinson, like the finest wines, only seems to improve with time, and those who think they've seen everything he has to offer may be about to be surprised by what's still to come. After delving deep into Rowan Atkinson's life, one question remains worth considering. What does this man's story say about your own journey? Just as he transformed stuttering into laughter and shyness into genius, you too possess experiences and characteristics that can be the raw material for your greatest success. And the only difference between those who achieve and those who merely observe is the courage to take the first step. Think about it. If a boy with many nicknames in a rural English school managed to create characters as universal as Mr. Bean and as unforgettable as Blackadder, what is preventing you from transforming your own story into something extraordinary? Atkinson's life teaches us that talent needs the right partners, as he found in Richard Curtis, the courage to make mistakes in public, as he did during his controversial Broadway run, and the persistence to reinvent yourself whenever the world thinks you've already said everything you had to say. If this content inspired you in any way, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because there are many more great stories waiting for you here, and the next one might be exactly the one that changes the way you see the world.